I'm still not in a positive mood, but I feel like I need to just say some things about things I need to do. Definitely need to go on a holiday to cheer myself up a bit. And Pelican Point is actually a place I would love to go to. I'm very serious when I say I'd love to join the SEALs and become a SEAL for a day or a week, but probably live in a home. I don't like the idea of this being in the sea throughout the night, but it's quite warm in Nambia, so Pelican Point, Nambia, to join the SEALs. And I could also take a baby toy seal so that I can pretend that I too am a seal with a pup. So that would be kind of fun. I'm serious about that actually. But yes, I might get bored after a week, so it might not be like a long-term plan, but it's something that I've wanted to do for a very long time. I was just watching a video about that Rapture group. There's a group of Christians, I can't even remember the name. There's a group of Christians online that constantly go on about how amazing the rapture is. And the whole video is just insult of other people. Other people don't care about us. If we died, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't care, and yet they don't give one shit about anyone else other than themselves. And it's amazing how horrible those people are. If you want to hate humans, all you need to do is watch that video and you just be like, right, I'm living with the SEALs right now. I can't stand these people. They are the most hate-filled people ever, and yet all their discussion, all their talk is just about how other people are bad. When we're gone, when we're raptured and up in heaven, you know, oh, they're going to be all turning against each other. They're going to be lusting after each other. They're going to be lusting after what other people have. There's going to be all these empty houses, and they're all just going to be fighting over who gets all the houses, and it's just like, it's so terrible. There are people who are terrible, and that's but then they started just talking about the schooling system or something, and yeah, I think the schooling system is wrong. It is wrong. I think people, if I was to change things in the future, I would say that life skills is a very important class. Forget maths. Do maths up to the age of 12. People need to know how to use a calculator. A 9-year-old can learn how to use a calculator. So teach kids how to do plus, minus, and to mildly remember some basic maths, and then just stop it. Why are you teaching maths as one of your main subjects? It's maths, English, and science. So science is important because you need to learn how to work things. But I would say it's more important to learn how to work things. So don't learn how a washing machine works, but learn how to use it. Learn how to adapt it to make it more efficient, or what settings to use, or what kind of clothes might run, or how to detect if a new outfit would run or something. You know, I mean, I think teaching people actual life skills on like, say, don't teach people how a toilet works, but teach people how, if a toilet breaks, how can you fix it? How can you click on a handle? How you know what to do, what to do to fix things. That's more important than the actual device. I mean, they'll learn about the actual device, but if you focus on things that might actually happen in your life and learn how to actually fix it, you know, how to put up a cupboard, the cupboard one might have to be until you're over 15 or something, because you'd have to be fairly strong to lift up a cupboard or something, wall hanging or something, you know. I would definitely change the school systems. Forget maths. Okay, maths, forget about maths. I don't even think maths is important. Why are you teaching maths as like one of your main subjects in GCSEs? I don't understand that. I feel like there's one of the problems is that humans are constantly thinking that children are children. You know, I went to the spa last week, and someone got kicked out, and I was thinking, why is she getting kicked out? And then I asked her, just as she was leaving, why have they asked you to leave? And they said it's because she's 13, and I was shocked, because that girl did not look 13. She looked 18 easily. If she would have told me she was 18, I would have believed her. If she would have told me she's 16, I still would have believed her. But I felt like she looks very mature for her age. Not just old, but she actually acts mature. She doesn't act like I don't even know what 12-year-olds act like, but I know I didn't act like childish. Like, I wouldn't say 12-year-olds can get married or anything, but I do think they're fine in a spa. And yeah, they have these rules in the spa that you have to be 18 to be in this spa. But I'm actually, it made me think, because I was looking at her and thinking, what's wrong with her? She's not doing anything an adult wouldn't do. She seems to blend in with the adults. I don't feel uncomfortable being around her because I don't feel like I am around a child. Okay, you might need to, but the thing is, people don't go to spas to meet people, or it's not like a dating ring or anything. So I don't know. I don't see any problem with her being in that thing. And it just made me feel that a lot of people would treat 12-year-olds or 13-year-olds as kids. Whereas I looked at that woman and I was just like, that's a woman, that's not a girl, is it? Oh, is it? Okay, I didn't know that. So I could understand why they would ask her to leave. I think because she said when she came in, but they said that they would check to see if they could, and I think they probably let her in because she looked very mature for her age. But yeah, it's things like that have made me feel like that's what's wrong with the education system. The education system are treating 12-year-olds as if they're 12-year-olds who have had no past life experiences and aren't, that they're not treating them like adults, they're treating them like kids. And okay, they shouldn't make life-changing decisions. I don't agree with surgery under the age of 18. I think 16 to 18 is debatable, but yeah, they need to have life experiences, and part of life experiences is going to things like spas and being treated like an adult if that's how they act. If a 12-year-old acts like an adult, I strongly feel that they should be treated like an adult, but not necessarily that doesn't mean they should be able to get married or anything, but they should be allowed to live their daily life as an adult, just not do the marriage or whatever the serious commitments are. But yeah, and I feel like that's kind of where you're teaching people English, maths and history based on the fact that these kids have only been alive for 12 years and they've had no prior knowledge, and they're not as, all their information is coming from their genes or something, and it's not the truth. They're a lot of, not their memory, but a lot of their soul or their character or their personality has stemmed from the past. I don't like my sister's husband, and I can say a lot of bad things, and that George Ezora character, I feel like some of his songs really do link to the way George is and the attitude that George has. He treated my sister a little bit like she was a possession, but at the same time I saw how my sister was, and she was very much attentive to that, and she was very much okay with that. It wasn't insulting to her, it was just how she was. And when I tried to think about why she was the way that she was, I got visions of her being Margaret, and George also was in that lifetime, and I feel like that's why they were together for so long, because they recognized each other from that life. But in that life, women were treated like possessions, and that's just how it was, and males were treated like they're the ones that have to do everything, hence why George had this need to want to advance as much as he could. And I thought he was doing quite a good job. Okay, he wasn't believing anything that I believed, but no one else was around me, so I didn't see that as being anything other than anything different to how other people were treating it. So his new partner is also ignoring everything that I'm going through or experiencing, and just, I don't know, something's wrong with people that I meet because they just have no interest in my belief. And it's a really horrible thing to have no one believe or be interested. You can tell people you're Christ. Oh, okay, well, why don't you write a book? That's about as much interest as I can get from people. And then you look online to see all these religious people go on about how much they love Christ and God, and they'll do anything for that person. But if I spoke to them, they would think nothing of anything that I say, because what they believe is just some sort of fictional. But it's a fictional character that they've created in their head, and they just love that fictional character. That's all it is. But it's horrible. But people are the way that they are because of their past lives. That is part of it, and I don't think school educations allow for that. You know, the reason why this relationship, this very unbalanced relationship was formed in my sister and her partner was because of beliefs that they both gained from a past life where, you know, that was how it was, and that was how they were playing it out. Still, they were still believing that the lies from the past life, and therefore education is wrong. Education system is all wrong, because it's assuming that you've never spoken English before. Maybe you haven't. Maybe you were French or German in your past life. Hence, you need to have English lessons to you know, you've lost your memory, so you need to have English lessons. That's very important. But maths, I don't know. Like, most people learn maths in their past life, and therefore maths is probably one of the things that people can gain very easily. And now we have calculators. Do we even need maths in high school? I don't think so. You need to know how to buy and sell things, but that's just calculating cash, and that's something you can learn. That's something you should learn before you're 12, and by the time you get to 12, you should pass your. That's maybe how I'd change the education system. I'd have the whatever the grading system, and have it at the age of 12. Make sure that you do a test at the age of 12 to see how good their calculations are. You know, if you give someone £5 to buy something that's £1.75, you know, how much change will they get back? You know, I would do maths differently. I would say that maths is something you should learn up to the age of 12, and then you should do a test to see if you are able to calculate properly. And then you base whether or not that person should continue doing maths based on the maths that they already know. If they aren't able to calculate something like how much change should you get if you buy something for £1.75, you know, if they can't work out that question by the age of 12, then they should continue doing maths. And if they can't work out that question, then yeah, if they can work it out, then they don't have to do maths any longer. But if they can't work it out, then I think they should continue. And yeah, I think humans right now just assume that all kids are dumb, and therefore, or not dumb, but all kids are new, and therefore maybe I'm just basing it on the education that I had, because the education I had, what I felt was just completely useless, and nothing really benefited my life in any way. Other than English, but English is the one thing that I could never pick up on, and that's the one thing that kind of just gave me a lot less confidence, because there was a sort of belief that if you can't remember things, or if you can't get good grades in English, then it means you're stupid. And rather than no one once told me that dyslexia was a memory disorder. And I think it's a bit more than a memory disorder, but a memory disorder is partly how I would describe it. You know, you can confuse things backwards, get things the wrong way, or you can spell the same word 10 times and spell it differently each time, and stuff. So it's complicated, but mostly it's you not remembering how it goes, and then a second later you might remember how it's spelled. But yeah, so that's the list of things that I need to do. I think I need to go on holiday, but one thing that is kind of important is I've seen this bonkers Dizzy Rascals song, which is good, but it's very, very like vague. The colours aren't very good. It's a very bad recording, and it's on a channel called Mushroom rather than on the Dizzy Rascal channel. So why have the YouTube channels set it up like this? They've got all the YouTube songs, but they've got them just all over the place, and they're not always in the same category. You know, I've created playlists with all the singers, but I haven't got all the songs on my playlist. I've only got the songs that I've come across, and sometimes I come across their songs and listen to it, but I can't add it to the playlist because I've got way too many playlists up there, and I can't find the right playlist. You have to scroll through 300 different playlists, and they don't all show up because some of them aren't. I think only the top 100 or the last 100 that I've clicked on or added things to, that only they show up. So there's a lot of times that I can't add things to a playlist, so I haven't got all the songs on the playlist, and sometimes I forget to add it or think that I've done it and not do it when I haven't done it really. That would be something that you should do. Set up, and you must have it somewhere where you can pay, like streaming systems where you have the artist and all their songs. I've never actually looked into that. I've never. I don't even know how you would buy these songs, to be honest. Apple iTunes, but I don't like Apple iTunes because that doesn't work on a normal phone. So I don't actually know. I've never seen any people say buy it, but I don't understand how you do it because they never give the link on what to do. But is there a page where they have all the singers and all the music, all the songs with music videos? I think the songs with music videos are the ones that are going to be far more better than the ones without. So is there a place you can go where you see the artists and you see all their songs, maybe in order of what they prefer most or most streamed or whatever? I don't really know anything about. I just go on YouTube, and I have no idea what other sites there are. But yeah, if you want to make money from it, it would be better that maybe the reason why they're all jumbled up on YouTube is because you don't want to give it for free. You want to encourage people to go to a site that I have no idea what is because I've never seen any evidence of any. How are you supposed to be selling these songs when you never ever tell people where to go to buy them? I have no idea. I literally have no clue. If I wanted to pay for these songs, I have absolutely no idea where to go because I've never seen any evidence that you've ever posted any link that links to a site where you can actually pay for these things. Is that weird how I've never come across that? These singers are supposed to be selling stuff and I've never ever seen evidence that there is a way of buying them. But yeah, I don't know why that is. But yeah, there should be a site where I don't mind, paying if you have a site where you can see them in good quality and then you can download them. But like what I've been doing, I've been creating all the playlists, but I haven't got all the songs on the playlist. I've just and then I put them in an order that I prefer. But there should be a website, but there probably is, and I just haven't found it. It's the problem about always being alone and not talking to people is you never get any answers from anything. So but yes, that's something that should be done, where there's a site where you can go and you can pay, like, how much would the songs be? I don't know, like 30p or something, and you can download as many songs. But yeah, there's a lot of artists that have songs and their songs that are just hidden somewhere on YouTube.